So we talked about that we've got a test, not this Friday, but next. I'll probably definitely have some sequences on that test, including systems that we did right before the break. Hope everybody had a good break. I gave you a sequence. Who knows what the pattern is? We are adding 2. So if we're adding, is that arithmetic or geometric? It is arithmetic. So hopefully by now we know our formulas. I can tell you if you do not know your formulas by heart, they will not be on the EOC. So you definitely need to start getting to know those, okay? So formula, A sub n equals A sub 1 plus common difference, parenthesis, n minus 1. The common mistake we're making here is we just look at the answer choices and say, I got this. Okay? Y'all, that's going to get you the wrong answer. And the reason why is because what we have a tendency to do is go, okay, there's my -7, and we're adding 2, so I'm going to pick B. B is not the correct answer, folks. That's why I keep putting these problems on there. B is not the correct answer. On a standardized test, this choice is going to be there to get you to pick it. It's wrong. Okay, we need to plug into this. So the first term is -7. The common difference is a +2. And y'all, we've got to simplify this. So I need to distribute. So I bring down the -7. 2 times n is 2n. 2 times -1 is -2. And y'all, then I combine like terms. So I get 2n minus 9. Now, y'all, keep in mind that this form is mx plus b form. Y'all, this is not the first term. This is the initial term. Y'all, this is the term before the first term. And that's where students make a mistake. That's why you do not want to be picking this guy. Because this and this format are not the same thing. Okay, so just wanted to say that. So the correct answer is A. How many people knew that? Like you knew to work it out and you knew how to get it. Okay, y'all, look around the room. 2 people raised their hand. Y'all, I've gone over at least 4 of these in the last 2 or 3 weeks. Just like it. I'm telling you, you got to put it in your brain, folks. I know that everybody's wanting to choose B. We can't do it. Can't do it. This form, that is not the first term. That's the y-intercept. It's actually the term before the first term. Okay? And some of y'all don't even have to work this out if you understand that part. I mean, if you're going this way and adding 2 to get back to the initial term, you just subtract 2. That gives that as a -9. Okay? All right. Okay, I knew we had some problems with recursive form. Okay, so with recursive form, we are adding. So notice, we definitely do not want to pick this one. Y'all, this is multiplying by 2. Notice there is nothing in between the 2 and the a sub n minus 1. So y'all, I put that on there on purpose to see if you should see if you chose it. You should not have chosen that. Okay, here. This is saying that we are subtracting 7 for our pattern. That's not our pattern. This is saying we're subtracting 2 for our pattern. That's not our pattern. This is the correct answer. We are adding 2. And the first term is -7. How many people had B? Okay, nice, but look around the room. Look around the room, y'all. You're still looking at 4 out of 25 of y'all. I'm just saying. Some of us are going to really have to dig deep here, y'all. This has already been taught. There's no more magic. There's no other way to teach it. It is what it is. Okay? Okay, so next, I gave you a word problem. It says the Petri dish had 4 bacteria in it the first hour. They are giving you the value of the first term right there. The value of the first term is 4. And if you know where that goes, in other words, if you know your form, a sub n equals a sub 1 parenthesis r to the n minus 1, then we're looking for a 4 in this front slot. So it can't be that one. It's one of these three. And now if you look at this form, I'm going from 4 to 8 to 16. So what is the pattern? Multiplying by 2. So my common ratio is 2. So that is going to be this guy right here. Notice this has an n minus 1. The formula has an n minus 1, not an n. Okay? How many people had that? Okay. All right. Last one is the hardest. Okay, so they're giving us all this information. Y'all, we got to plug it in. The first thing is it says arithmetic sequence, and when I see that, the first thing I want to do is write down my formula. A sub n equals A sub 1 plus D parentheses n minus 1. And now, I know that the common difference is 7. That's the D. It goes here. And instead of giving us the first term, the value of the first term, they are giving us the value of the 25th term. So y'all, these numbers have to go in there. Where do they go? Where does the 25 go? Well, almost. It goes in place of the n, because n represents the term number. So that's going to be 25 minus 1 there. We do not know the first term, and then the left side's where the value of the 25th term goes, so this is where the 184 goes. So now I'm going to simplify it. 25 minus 1 is 24. And then 7 times 24, 8, is that 168?
Yeah, 168, yeah.
Yep, and now I'm going to subtract 168 on both sides. And I find out the value of the first term is 16. Now that's not the question though. So now what are we going to do? Notice it's asking me for the 10th term. What am I going to do? Yep, I can plug it in, or some of us might just want to go, okay, if my first term is 16, what am I doing each time? Adding 7. You could do that until you got to the 10th term. For me, I'm just going to plug in here to get me the quickest way. The first term, the value of the first term is 16. Common difference is 7. And I want the 10th term, so I'm going to put a 10 right there. That's it. So now that's 7 times 9, and then add 16, and I believe the answer is 79. How many people got that? Okay. Again, y'all, if you're looking around the room, we're talking about 2 or 3 people raising their hand. So some of y'all might want to go back and watch these videos. Just saying. We good? Okay. All right. Okay, so we should have linear, exponential, and quadratic. And if you would, right here, you can do it in all of them. You can or cannot, but at least under the linear, I want you to write systems of equations, because what's wrong? Sorry. Is that better? Okay. I want y'all to write systems of equations, because that's what we're doing. Systems of equations, And some of y'all that like all your highlighters and all that good stuff, you know, you might want to okay. Systems of equations, and label your L, your E, your Q, and we also need to label our page. All three of them, page 12, y'all. So let's label our pages. Okay. When I give you your first two cutouts, I want you to figure out which one of these it goes under, exponential or quadratic. I'm going to give you two, and one goes underneath each. I want you to figure out where they go when I give them to you, okay? And if y'all will take one and pass it back, please. I don't know if I counted that right. You'll have to let me know, Lyric. I may have left one off. You know what, if I did leave one off, I bet Maddie will have an extra back there.
No stuff, wasn't it?
Do I get one or two?
You get one. There's another one coming back. It's a different one though. Okay, just put it on my back desk then, it's fine.
You got wood.
Thank you. That's not true. Always nice to you.
Okay. All right, so you got two now, or at least this side will get two here shortly. If you guys could figure out where you think these go. They do not go under linear. One goes under exponential, it's a system, and one goes under quadratic. Okay, so folks, I just wanted to remind you, I wanted you to do it so that maybe you would take a look and remind yourself of what a quadratic and an exponential looks like. Y'all don't forget, quadratics are these parabolas. Exponentials are the ones that start off and either go straight up, they grow, or they go down steeply and balance out. So, we can glue these now. And we're going to write something underneath, and that's going to be kind of it for this, because the only way in Math 1 we solve these pretty much is graphing in Desmos under exponential and quadratic, okay? So when you get these, when you get a glue stick, you can go ahead and glue. If you have your own glue stick, it'll probably go a lot quicker. And let's share, huh? Yeah, I would just, well, I wouldn't cover up the E. That's right. I'll glue it right there. So let's glue it. Solve by graphing. And that's on both of these. So you can write it twice if you like, or write it once. Solve by graphing. Okay, and this one has two solutions. This solution is negative 1, 1. And this solution is 2, 4. And those of you that like to do a bunch of highlight, you might want to highlight these. These are your solutions. Okay, this one has one solution. Okay, see how we're not doing that this week. Hopefully we already know, just to go in Desmos, pop this in, the solutions are the intersections, okay? Okay, we're gonna focus on the linear. Okay, this one, y'all, I don't recommend that you glue it first because it's hard to write on it after you've glued it. I'm gonna fill it out, then I'm gonna glue mine. That's what I recommend y'all do. We're gonna fill them out together, then glue them, okay? And this is actually what we're going to be doing for the rest of the week. I'm sure this is too many again, Maddie, if y'all would just, I keep,
No, you're fine.
I'm getting off my count here.
Oh, sorry.
The math teacher's getting off her count. 4. I think that's perfect there.
Turn right there. Turn right here. Look, right there. Right there.
Literally, take it.
Hurry up. Oh, you want to know. I think they're going to do it, okay? I think they're going to do it.
You're such a smart.
I think I miscounted these too. Bryson, you might have more than you want. Sit them to the side. Okay. So y'all notice this is a system that's all linear. If you look at these, hopefully you recognize these pairs of equations are all linear. These are all linear. Power on the x is a 1, power on the y is a 1. These are linear. So yes, they're going to be glued under the linear part, but I wouldn't glue them yet. Let's go ahead and go over this, okay? All right? Okay, so there are 3 methods for solving a linear system. They are written right here. Graphing, substitution, and elimination. So again, all my highlighter people, you might want to highlight these 3 words. Graphing, substitution, elimination. Okay? We have solved by graphing. We've done it in advisory. You've actually had it on tests. We're going to graph and find the intersection. I'm going to do that in a minute. Y'all, before spring break, we took one day and did this, and y'all were really good at it. Y'all were really good at it. We're going to do this again today, and some harder ones. And then later in the week, we're going to do substitution. And then we'll be done with this, okay? There's word problems, but the word problems I'm grouping all together, like here in about 2 weeks. Like, we're going to do word problems for everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and do by graphing. This is another great review, y'all. How do we graph a linear function? What do I put on my graph here? Come on. Come on. Y equals 3x minus 1. How do I start this graph? I mean, where do I, how do I get this started?
For the dot.
Y-intercept, that's right. So where's the dot going to go for this? Nope. Not 3. Yeah, this is your y-intercept, so we're going to do -1 right there. How do I get me another point? Okay, this is my slope. It's 3 over 1. Slope is rise over run. So from my y-intercept, I'm going to rise 3 and run 1. 1, 2, 3, 1. And by the way, y'all, if you wanted another point, you rise 3 and over 1 again. You can put points all up and down this line. 1, 2, 3, 1. You can even go backwards. Okay, now if you'll grab a straight edge or the edge of your notebook or something, and let's go ahead and make us a straight line. You can just use the edge of your notebook, will be fine. Let's make us a straight line. Okay, now we're going to graph the other one. What's the first thing on my paper? What's the first thing I need to graph on my paper? We're on this second one. 4, where does it go? It's the what? It's the y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4. It goes right here. Okay, I need another point. How am I going to get that? Okay, there is, if I made this a fraction, I would put a 1 under it. So I'm going to go, what does negative 2 tell me? Which direction?
Down.
Down 2, right 1. So from my 4, I'm going to go down 2, right 1. And if I want another point, I can go down 2, right 1 again. I can even go down 2, right 1 again. I can keep graphing them. So now we're going to connect that with a straight edge. Edge of your notebook or something. And hopefully we realize that the solution is what? Where they intersect. Okay? So the solution to this would be the point, the point 1, 2. Solution would be the point 1, 2. That's my solution. Good? Okay. All right, elimination method. I'm going to scoot over here because we've done this one before. I just made this one a little complicated. Okay, who remembers that word elimination? Who remembers from before spring break? What's the idea about the elimination method? What does eliminate mean? Get rid of. So why were we, what does that word have to do with this? What were we trying to do? Does anybody remember?
Get rid of them.
We were trying to get rid of one of the variables. Do you see how there's 2 of them? Remember, we needed to get rid of one for the time being. Okay, well, when we did this before break, I gave you the easy ones. I gave you the ones where when you look straight down, something canceled. Does anything cancel there? Does anything cancel there? Okay, these are the harder ones. So here's the deal. If I wanted to get these x's to cancel, what does that need to be? Everybody says a 3.
A negative
It's a
3.
negative 3. Okay? But what is it really right now? What is it?
A positive 1.
It's a 1. So don't forget it's a 1. And here's my next question. It is perfectly within the rules to multiply as long as I multiply everything in this entire equation. So what can I multiply 1 by to turn it into a negative 3? See, all we're going to do is multiply the whole equation by negative 3, and then we've got a good problem. So if y'all would put a parenthesis here, this is important, put a parenthesis here, and I want y'all to put a negative 3 out here because we are going to multiply, notice, look at your rule, multiply one or both equations so that the variables will cancel. So we're going to multiply this second equation by negative 3. Okay, so here we go. What is negative 3 times 1? Okay, we're going to come down here and write this, y'all. Negative 3x. Y'all do it with me. Then we're going to multiply negative 3 times negative 1y. What do I get? Positive 3y. Bring down your equal sign. And y'all, this is where students sometimes forget. Y'all, you got to multiply the other side of the equation as well. So what's negative 3 times 3? Okay. So y'all, all I did was multiply everything by negative 3, and there's my equation. We didn't mess with the first one. Let's just slide it underneath. So that first one is 3x minus 2y equals 10. And now we're ready to go. So notice now, when you combine straight down, your x's are eliminated for the time being. You can cross through them. Okay, and now what do we get when we combine here? I get a 1y, which is, by the way, the same thing as y. And now we're going to combine here. And I get y equals 1. Am I done? No, because how many variables do I have? well, I've got two variables and I've only found one. I'm sure that's what y'all mean. Okay, so now what do? Who remembers what I do now?
Equal the one that has the less negatives, right?
I pick the one that's got less negatives. That's the way I do. And I substitute the 1 in for the y. So I'm going to go to this one. And because it's y equals 1, I'm going to substitute it there. So what does it sound like? 3x minus 2 blank equals 10. So 3x minus 2 blank equals 10. What am I going to put in the blank?
1.
So now 2 times 1 here is 2. So this is going to be 3x minus 2 equals 10. I'm multiplying here. And now it's a 2-step equation. So what's my next step? Add 2 to both sides. And then when I combine here, I get 12. What's the last step? Divide by 3, and I get 4. And how do I write my solution to this system? How is it written over here? As an ordered pair. So what is my solution here? 4, comma 1. Keep in mind, y'all, an ordered pair as an answer cannot be a free response on an EOC. You can't enter an ordered pair. This would have to be multiple choice, or they could ask you, what is the x coordinate of the solution? What would that answer be? What is the y coordinate of the solution? See, they could do that in a free response. Guess what else they could do? What is x plus y? X plus y is 5. What is x minus y? X minus y would be 3. Y'all, they can do that on an EOC. Just let you know. That would be a free response, like where you could pop the answer in a box. Okay, so we're going to do this today for sure and tomorrow, and then we're going to move into the substitution method. Okay, so I still want this in the notes though. Y'all, somebody take a look at these, and now take a look at these and tell me how do they look different. And I don't mean one's got a 5 and one's got a 2. That's not what I mean. Okay, hang on. I want to see if everybody else gets it. Hang on. Y'all, how does this set look different than this set? Has nothing to do with 5s and 3s and 2s. Maddie?
One of the equations have 2 variables and one of them have 1.
Okay, you're getting there. Now, they both have 2 variables, but you're used to looking over here. That's why you see 1, but this does have 2. So, we getting there though. It's rearranged differently. That's why Maddie said one has 1. Y'all, these are rearranged differently. Do you see how these variables have x and y on the left side? They're stacked. These are both in standard form. Now look at this one. That one's in standard form. Y'all, this one's in slope-intercept form. There's a variable that's been solved for. Y'all, when there's a variable that's been solved for, this method is easier. I'm going to show you how to do it. Okay? So, don't write this, but when we got to here and we found one of our answers, y equals 1, what did we do with that 1? We went back and did what? Plugged it in, substituted it back in. Well, y'all, that's what we're going to do here. If this was y equals 1, you would say, Miss Batchett, just take that and put it right there, right? You'd be like, Miss Batchett, y equals 1, take that and put it right there. Well, y'all, if y equals this, we can take that and put it right there. That's what substitution is. So what I want everybody to do is, I want you to circle this right there. And I want you to draw an arrow to the y, because that's substitution. If it says y equals, then we can put that where y is. Okay, so what does it say? If I'm going to plug in for y, what does it sound like? Negative 3x minus 3 blank equals 3. Okay, so let's write that. Negative 3x minus 3, and y'all, this time we need a big blank. We need a big blank. Equals 3. See, y'all, look what I did. I wrote this, and I left the y out because I'm going to substitute something right there. What am I going to substitute in place of y? That right there. Why can I do that? Look what it says. Y equals. That's why I can do it. So that is going to be substituted right there. Negative 5x minus 17. Did y'all do this in 8th grade? Does anybody remember? No? Okay. All right, so y'all, this is nothing but a multi-step equation now. That's all this is. So what's my first step to solve a multi-step equation? Starts with a D. Distribute. So I'm going to bring down my negative 3x, and now I'm going to distribute negative 3. So negative 3 times negative 5x is positive 15x. Negative 3 times negative 17, I think it's 51, right? Positive 51. Bring down my equal sign, bring down my 3. What is my next step after distributing? Combine like terms. I can put a negative 3x and a positive 15x together. What do I get? 12x. Bring down everything else, and notice I've got a two-step equation. So what do I do now? Subtract 51 on both sides. And on the right side, I think I get a negative 48. Now what? Okay, and I get a negative 4, I think. Am I done? No. What do I need to do with the x equals negative 4? Go back and plug it back in, right? Okay, so which one y'all want to use? By the way, one's easier than another, just letting you know. I've got x equals negative 4. I need to plug it back into one of these. Which one do you think is the easiest? It's actually the bottom, and here's the reason why. Notice everything is on the right-hand side, so when you plug it in, you can literally put it right in your calculator. So we're going to plug it into the bottom one. So it's y equals negative 5 blank minus 17, and what are we going to put into blank? Negative 4. So now it's y equals negative times negative is positive, so that's a positive 20 minus 17. What's 20 minus 17? 3. And now, how do I write my answer? Negative 4, 3. Yep. There you go. Okay, so y'all, now you at least have a little guide for solving systems. Y'all, that's it. We just got to practice it. And then we got word problems. So, we can glue this, and this goes under the linear part in our notebook. Now, what I recommend is that you leave this out because we're going to do the elimination stuff. Okay, so some of y'all might want to glue it this way if you got room. If not, you can just glue it sideways, okay? Is Madeline back? Oh, I thought you were going to the restroom. Didn't realize Madeline's not back yet. Okay, we are not gluing anything else. So what I'm gonna do, well, just hang on. Okay, so what we're gonna do, first of all, I strongly recommend that you fold this back and leave this so that when we're doing these, you can look right there. That's my recommendation, okay? However, we're gonna practice. So you have an option. Some of y'all may want to use regular notebook paper so you have it, and some of y'all may want whiteboards. Okay, what I do want is when you get up, I want you to bring my glue sticks back to me, please. Okay, come get whatever you need. If you're doing whiteboards, if you just want regular paper, I've got regular paper.
And you didn't even smile.
Okay. Did y'all need another glue stick? All right, if you want paper, I've got paper down here as well. Whatever y'all want to do, we gotta wait on that one. Yeah, there's the line. There's the line. Gotta wait on Madeline to get back.
I'm empty.
All the white from
My leg is half asleep. Can't do that.
Okay.
That kind of look like my socks.
I'm sure they do.
You don't cut your socks? Oh, I cut my socks.
You don't cut your socks?
I cut my socks.
Why do you cut them
Sock,
out?
sock.
Yeah, your socks are black.
Like your skin color. Like my
Okay.
skin color.
All right, folks. Okay, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start off with the easier ones, okay, and then we're gonna get into the harder ones, okay? Okay? Who can tell me why I said why is this an easy one?
Because your section numbers.
They're not rearranged. Those are not rearranged.
Yep. Y'all, the reason why this is easy is because when you combine straight down, the Y's automatically disappear. Look, they're gonna be gone. You can cross them out. Combine, combine. Y'all were really good at this, so I want to give some of y'all a chance to get started without me. Y'all, when you combine, that cancels. You can go ahead and cross it out. Combine, bring down your equals, combine.
Can you dim the lights just a little?
Yeah,
Just so
I can. Sorry.
No, you're good.
Is that better?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry about that. Remind me every day, Maddie, and I'll do that. I just forget.
No, you're good.
Okay, so y'all, we're combining straight down. That's going away. And then when I combine here, I get 12x. Comes straight down. And what do I get when I combine here? No.
You get 24, negative 24, 48.
Negative 48.
Oh, that's 21. That's only 24. Well, what am I tweaking?
Yeah. And now what? What do I do now? Divide by 12. What do I get?
Negative 4.
Negative 4. Am I done? Okay. So what am I going to do now?
You're gonna put it back in.
I'm going to plug that negative 4 back in. And y'all, hey y'all, I'm telling you, before break, let me tell you what y'all were doing. Some of y'all were getting all the way to the bottom and you had negative 4, but you didn't have what letter it was. Like all you had was negative 4. Y'all, we got to get in the habit of bringing that letter down so we know that's an X. So I'm going to substitute it back up here, and it goes where X is. Which one's better, the first one or the second one? The first one, just because it's got less negatives. So that's why I'm going to choose the first one. So it's going in place of X. So this is what it sounds like. 8 blank plus 2y equals negative 20. 8 blank plus 2y equals negative 20. What goes in the blank?
Negative 4.
Okay, I'm going to stop. You're going to multiply that, and then you got a two-step equation. I'm going to stop and let y'all try to do it. Put in, that's multiplication, and then you've got a two-step equation.
I don't know if you can see it from there.
Yep.
I should put it.
So what's 8 times negative 4?
Negative 30.
Okay. And then we're going to bring everything else down. And now it's a two-step equation. What do I do? Add 32 to both sides. So I'm going to let you guys add 32 to both sides. Okay, so if I add 32 to both sides, do I get 12?
Yeah, you get.
Okay, now what?
You divide by 2.
Okay. Okay, so my answer is negative 4, 6. I want you to keep in mind, what if it was a free response box that had this or this? What would your answer be?
2 on the top.
X plus y, you would add these together. What do you get?
2.
X minus y.
You get 10.
If I put a subtraction sign in between, it would be a negative 10.
Yeah, right.
Y'all, all I'm trying to do is show you that. I'm trying to show you, y'all, this would be multiple choice. And by the way, they would flip these around. Another answer choice would be 6, negative 4. But y'all, if they really want to see if you know how to do this, see, a lot of times when they give answer choices, folks, you know how you work them backwards? Y'all get smart. You're like, oh, I'm gonna take the answers and I'm gonna plug them back in. Y'all, that's great. But on an EOC, if they want to see if you can work it forward, instead of this, they're gonna start asking this question. They're not gonna give you any answer choices at all. They're gonna ask you this question. There's gonna be a box, a blank box. And see, that will not go in the box. It'll give you an error message. So just keep in mind, y'all, if you're trying to put stuff in the EOC and it won't let you, you probably want to go back and read the question again, and there's a chance that you missed something in the question. Okay? We good? All right. Let's do another easy one. All right. Now that one's too easy. Hang on. I don't want you to have one that easy. Hang on. Okay, here we go. Alright. I'm not going to say anything. If you cannot get started at all, oh, by the way, you guys always mess up. What's in front of that X?
1.
Thank you. It's not going to be there on a standardized test, but you might want to go ahead and put a 1 there. Y'all were doing really good with this before break. Well, everybody chose either a whiteboard or and I'll show you my notebook if you want to read. Everybody chose a whiteboard or a regular paper? And by the way, for today, just so you know, can you get decimals as answers? You can, but for today, y'all, I fixed it to where you do not. So y'all, if you're getting decimals or fractions as answers, you've done something wrong. We ready? I think it is. Is it 10 negative 1?
Yeah.
All right, so when you combine straight down, the y's go away. Don't forget there's a 1, so that's 3x equals 30. Divide, we get x equals 10. How'd y'all do on that part? Now, we got to substitute this back in. Which one did y'all use?
The bottom one.
Okay, so it goes where x is. 2 blank plus y equals 19. 2 blank plus y equals 19. What do I put in the blank? 10. What's 2 times 10? And then one step, what do I do?
Subtract 20.
Subtract 20 on both sides. Okay, so here's my answer. And what would this be? What would those two be?
Top one be 9.
That means add them together, you'd have 9. What would this be?
No, 9. Just.
Ooh,
11.
it'd be 11.
Yeah.
Y'all, it's 10 minus a negative 1. So y'all, I've also seen them say this, just in the sentence, they'll say, what is the x coordinate of the solution? What would that answer be? What is the x coordinate? It'd be 10. I've seen them say, what is the y coordinate? Do you see what I mean? They can do that and put a blank box, a free response box. Okay? All right. Let's do a harder one. Yeah, you can go. Okay, let's do a harder one. This is one that students, that is very tricky, and I want you to look at it and tell me why you think it's, that I would say this is tricky. Don't yell it out, I just want you to look. This is one of the trickiest ones, and I want to know why would I say it's tricky. One person knows already. Does anybody know? Raise your hand if you think you know why would this trick you. Why could it have got 2 people? It's the same 2 people. I love them. But do we have some other people taking a look? Okay, 3, 4. Eli, do you know why this might be tricky? Bentley, you know why this might be tricky? Why would I think this is tricky for students? Okay, I agree the x doesn't cancel, but there's another reason why I would tell you this is tricky. Okay, we're gonna let Madeline Maddie tell us.
Because the signs are the same.
Yeah, y'all, what are students gonna do and not pay attention to? They're just gonna mark them out. Y'all, you can't mark them out. You can't mark them out. They don't cancel. This is a 1 and a 1. That's actually 2y. Y'all, that's a huge mistake students make. So now, y'all, we got to fix this. We want one of these to be negative, right? So what can I multiply by?
-1.
Yeah. So y'all, look what we're going to do. Parenthesis. I'm going to multiply every single term in the bottom equation by -1. And y'all go ahead and do that and then put it right here. Go ahead and do that and put it right here. Multiply every single term by -1. Go ahead and do that. Try to do it before I do it. Okay, so y'all, if I multiply by -1, y'all do realize all that does is change the signs. That's all it does. So instead of -3x, it's +3x. Instead of plus y, it's minus y. Instead of -5, it's +5. Now, y'all, this first equation in the system, we didn't mess with it. Let's go ahead and bring it down. Y'all, it doesn't matter if it goes above or below. It does not matter at all. So I'm just going to take it, and I'm going to pop it right here underneath. And now I'm ready to go. So now notice, y'all, something's going to eliminate now. So eliminate it and go for it. People writing. Good job. Y'all are so good at this. Okay, so y's cancel. I get 11x equals -11 is what I should have gotten. So what is x equal to when I divide? -1. Now what? I got to plug this back in. It goes in for what letter? X. So which one do y'all want to do?
The top one.
Top one?
No, the bottom one, sorry.
Okay, bottom one. So it goes where X is. 8 blank plus Y equals -16. 8 blank plus Y equals -16. What goes in the blank? -1. Y'all, that's multiplication. Y'all see if y'all can take it from there. Okay. Hopefully you got -8 plus y equals -16, and you got to add 8 to both sides, and you end up that your answer for the y is -8. Okay, what if the question was, what's the x coordinate?
X coordinate is
The answer would be -1. What if the question was, find the y coordinate? It'd be -8. What if the question was, find x plus y?
it'd be negative.
It would be -9. What if the question was, careful, find x minus y?
7. 7.
It would be -1 minus -8. Do you see how there's an extra minus in there? So I think it's a 7, although I think you said 7. Right? I'm just trying to show y'all different ways they can ask, but technically the answer is an ordered pair on a graph where the two lines intersect. Technically, that's your answer right there. We good?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. All right, let's try another one. I'm slowly trying to release this to y'all. Slowly trying to release this so y'all can do it all on your own. Okay, let's see. Okay, wait a minute. Okay. I know I've said okay 10 times. Sorry. I'm trying to find one that you actually have to multiply by a number. You can't just get away with a negative or something. Okay, I'm just going to do this one. Here we go. Okay. What would be a common mistake made right here? Canceling your exes right now, and they're not ready to be canceled. They will not cancel. Now, I want y'all to keep something in mind, y'all. I know most of y'all, especially Lyric, that's probably 3/4 of the way done by now, have already said, I'm going to multiply all this by -1. I just want you to know something. Y'all do realize that this right here works as well. Somebody tell me why that works.
Because it gives
Look right here. Y'all, you don't have to cancel the x every time. Y'all, if I multiply by -2, what does that make this y term?
Positive.
Negative what?
Oh, -6, yeah.
See, I could choose to cancel the y's, y'all. I don't have to choose to cancel the x. Okay? So you could do that if you like. Or what a lot of people are doing is they're doing this. Because what's that going to do? That's going to make your x a +6 so that it cancels. Whichever you're choosing to do, remember, you got to multiply it all the way through. All the way through. So you can do this by -1 if you like, or you can do it by -2. Whatever you're choosing, when you get done, call me over. I want to see what your answer is. You should be getting nice integers, should not be getting. I love that you're doing that. But you got to stick with it. Eli. Get sidetracked. I'll bring down that other equation. If anybody needs me, call me over if you're stuck. Otherwise, let me see your answer when you're done. Doesn't matter which one you cancel first. If you're multiplying by -1 or multiplying by -2, everybody's going to have the same answer. Doesn't matter which one. You want to stick with multiplying by -1 or by -2? Okay. So you're going to multiply -1 times -6, -1 times +3, -1 times -12. And you're going to write your stuff just kind of like we did there. All it's going to do is change all the signs. That's all it's going to do. Okay. Did you multiply by -1 in your head? Oh, it's right. Never mind. I was thinking 2. What you doing?
18.
Okay. All you're going to do when you multiply is it's going to change the signs. So go ahead and write it down here. Yeah. Okay, and then record this up above it, and then you're ready to go. Okay, now take that top equation and bring it down. Do you see what I mean? Okay, now the equation you didn't mess with, Lorelei, put that underneath. So you didn't mess with that one. And now you're ready to go. You multiply? -1 times -6.
So if I do this,
Yeah.
-3 plus 6 is what?
Now you just take that and put it underneath and you're ready to go. Okay, what you gonna do with that? You got a +5.
So much for these lots.
Lyric, what'd you get? No, yeah, you did something wrong.
I got -5.
You got -5? Hey, Eli, that's supposed to be a +5.
Is it right?
Excuse me, Eli, it's supposed to be a -5. Did you get it? I'm sure it is because you and Aldo got the same answer. Let me see. Okay, wait a minute, everybody's getting 5, so let's double check.
You should.
It's negative.
Get the 18, right? So plus 6 to get 18.
Look at Aldo's board. Look at Eli's board and my board, and then put Aldo's board.
So what's 18? So why is it?
I can't pick my board up.
Oh.
Okay, well, wait just a minute. Look here. Look here. Okay, if I multiply this by negative, this is gonna be positive, that's gonna be negative, that's gonna be positive. Now I'm gonna bring this one and write it underneath. Yeah, that's a positive 3.
Which one are you doing? Because I didn't do that.
I did the 1.
I did the 1.
I did the -2.
Okay, but you should still get the same answer.
I think it's 5.
It was shut. What is yours for?
-5.
Okay, so that'd be 18. So y
Hold on.
is 6.
You got -5?
Okay, if we multiply, let's do the, where we multiply by the -2. Still gonna work.
I'm gonna wait.
Yep. Okay, so now I'm gonna multiply by -2. So this is gonna be a 12x. This is gonna be minus 6y. And this is gonna be a positive 24. Do what now? Did you multiply by -2? Yeah, what's negative times negative?
Positive.
Positive. So now, that's gonna be a positive 6x, that's gonna be a positive 30, x is a positive 5.
That is wrong.
Okay, you probably, what you guys did,
That's what I claimed.
Okay, so that's a negative though, right?
Because I did the, I used the top one.
it doesn't matter. Still gonna get the right answer.
Yeah, but then I got negative right.
Then
I
you
was used to
still gonna get the
y.
right answer.
But this is the y, so I have to put.
Okay. When you
I
subtract
got
your
it
negative.
wrong.
Earlier you go, oh, yeah,
I
yeah,
found
yeah.
this one.
No, I didn't.
Yeah, that's right.
That was over the graph. That was over the graph.
You were still wrong.
Okay, and then how would you say that?
It's not wrong.
Shut your.
Right, say it louder.
See what I'm saying?
Shut your
Now I went to data. That's where I plugged it in.
That was badass.
Okay,
That's badass.
but look, when you add 36 to both sides, it's a positive 30. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, Miss T, even if they plug it into the wrong one, hey, Miss T,
That's-
if they plug it in to the adjusted one, it's still supposed to give them the right
Right.
answer.
Yeah, I think it's something with the negatives that,
It's
that
the
I'm
negatives,
messing
you guys
up.
are just missing the negatives.
Right.
Okay, we good?
Were you wrong?
Well, everybody's packing up.
It's not the
I see
That's
why, I see why, I see why. Okay, folks, if I could get everybody, just bring my glue sticks back. I need whiteboards, markers, erasers, all that good stuff. Once I get everything up and we go back to our seats, I'll release us by rows. Thank you. Yeah.